Hey, you. Yeah, you. Big head ass. This right here is a tutorial, and I'm your guy. Hey! Quit scrolling, motherfucker. I didn't edit that far. You trying to expose me? Anyways, I'll be your guide / announcer / host, whatever. I do it all, you feel me? So, let me explain what this all is. In this game, we got about 15 playable WataMote characters. I know y'all probably used to games with the big ass rosters, but this ain't Smash Your Bros or whatever the fuck. This is WataMote, and 15 is enough. The thing about these characters though, all of them built different. Some of them folk got hands, and some of them don't. My job in this bitch is to tell your uninformed ass who is with the shits and who's not. So, to make this situation simple so even an 8 can figure it out, I got 5 tiers that these characters can belong to. 5. Which will tell you how much of a threat they are. The tiers of strength are as follows from weakest to strongest. Weenie Hut Jr. Not sweet. That guy. Matt from Nintendo Wii level. And Nokia Tough. You got it, punk? As for how these characters are being put in certain tiers, it pretty much is based on official stats from the creator themselves, Nico Tanegawa, the characters' personalities, in-story feats, and most importantly, because I said so. Any more questions? Don't even hit select, just leave a comment below the video and I'll handle it. Now, let's get started. Just scroll down one time, hit that X on the controller. Yeah, yes sir. Shizuku Hirasawa, alias Slutchan, is the Kohai of Tomoko Kuroki. Beloved by the male populace but despised by her female contemporaries, Shizuku is the object of resentment. Despite this, Shizuku doesn't have a vindictive bone in her body. While she is subject to slander, Shizuku's abuse is only verbal, and as such, she has never been in a fight according to our sources. Her stats are decent overall, but her glaring weakness is strength. Therefore, Shizuku, like you, belongs in the lowest category of Weenie Hut Jr. Masaki Yoshida, alias Delinquent, is the close friend of Mako, Reina, and Anna. Yoshida is bar none the most violent character in WataMote, having a claim to the most punches delivered by a single character. Yoshida has been in altercations with Akane, Komiyama, Uchi, Tomoko, and Reina multiple times, and even Megami's dog, Maro. Although Yoshida likes cute things and has a childlike personality, she also has a quick temper, evident by the abuse she handed Reina during the Disney arc. Overall, Yoshida's stats are average, but the glaring stat is her monstrous strength, which would probably be much higher than everyone else's if the range went beyond 5. Yoshida truly lives up to her delinquent persona, so as such, she places in the ranks of Nokia Tough. Kotomi Komiyama, alias Crazy Glasses, is a longtime friend of Unarase and part-time rivals with Tomoko Kuroki. This rivalry has exposed Komiyama's temper, which can flare up in a flash, especially whenever Tomoki is involved. Even at the slightest interaction between a girl and Tomoki, Komiyama will deem said girl as an enemy and is liable to insult or attack them. The biggest example of this is Komiyama's outrage over Tomoki accidentally touching Yoshida's boobs, which led to a fight between the two. Komiyama's stats and body type aren't anything that leaps out at you, but her crazy willpower paired with her explosive personality makes her a ticking time bomb. As such, she squeezes in the level of that guy. Hina Nemoto, alias Nemo, is the bubbly classmate of Tomoko, an aspiring voice actress. As a person who is typically cheerful, Nemo rarely ever has an opportunity to shine with her fist. However, the existence of the entity known as Scary Nemo has shaken up things. Scary Nemo is aggressive and cold, unconcerned with opinions other than her own. With the support of Nemo's pretty good stats, this might suggest that she is in a tier of Mac from Nintendo Wii level, but that is just a suggestion. What holds Nemo back is her betrayal in the story, which tends to put her in a rivalry with Tomoko. Given that, Nemo can't comfortably be in a tier with the demons that reside in Mac from Nintendo Wii level, but her betrayal is also not enough to drop her down to not sweet. Therefore, the compromise is keeping her at that guy. Yuri Tamura, alias Gloomy Girl, is the close friend of Tomoko Kuroki. Yuri's personality is that of a silent killer. She is neutral to most things, generally cold-blooded, and just like Nemo and Asuka, has a terrifying form of herself that people have dubbed Yandere Yuri. Besides one person, Yuri is the most violent character on this list, even daring to strike the sweet and always pleasant Mako. Yuri's feats are pretty impressive. Her grip strength was so powerful it almost took a chunk of Uchi's arm off. She once threw a dart so hard it got stuck in a board and wouldn't even budge. Plus, Tomoko even called her, along with someone else, domestic abuse masters, which is high praise. While Yuri's stats won't wow you, it likely doesn't take into account when she is enraged, which is a completely different animal. Chill Yuri is probably just that guy, but Yandere Yuri is definitely Mac for Nintendo Wii level, so that is where she will lay. Amiri Uchi, alias Emoji, is an obsessive lover of Tomoko Kuroki. It is a common saying that love makes you do crazy things, but in the case of Uchi, this is an understatement. Uchi has been known to amp up her ability in situations where Tomoko is the subject. Examples include her heightened perception, an uncanny speed that actually resembles teleportation, her claim of being able to use a technique just like aim from Hunter x Hunter. Uchi was also able to take a sucker punch from Yoshida without alerting a single sleeping person, so her defenses are well put together. In stats and everything else, Uchi is middle of the pack, not excelling in even one category. However, what cannot be measured is her unpredictable surge in power in a Tomoko-centric scenario. Therefore, Uchi snags a spot in the place of that guy. Megami Imae, alias Imae Senpai, is the appropriately named upperclassman of Tomoko Kuroki. Megami's talents are a bit of a mystery since her appearances are scarce, but it is believed that she is athletic. This assumption is rooted in Megami's tendency to volunteer and from the fact that she has a dog that she'd have to walk. Megami also has a hatred for bullies, indicated in her trying to protect Tomoko when she assumed Yoshida to be a bad person, which speaks to her courage and conviction. Megami's stats highlight her abnormal strength and flawless luck. So, while Megami is a kind-hearted person, I would not want to see her when she gets mad, earning Megami a spot in the category of that guy. Akari Iguchi, alias Dick-chan, is the classmate and unrequited lover of Tomoki Kuroki. It is safe to come to the conclusion that Akari is more of a lover than a fighter. However, she is not without a thrown punch. Typically, Akari is a relatively normal girl, but her constant exposure to the stupidity of her best friend Sayaka has worn down her patience. The result is a less forgiving and more rage-hearted Akari who dared to smack her dear friend upside the head, driving her to tears. An average body type, balanced stats, with the exception of low strength, makes Akari even in every aspect. Embodying the phrase, "I ain't a killer but don't push me," I feel Akari places in not sweet. Asuka Kato, alias Class Mom, is one of the key names in the Glamour Girls game. Outwardly, Asuka appears to be a nice person who cares for classmates and friends, but there exists a dark side to her. On occasions when someone is not behaving up to Asuka's standards, she wears an eerie expression on her face that screams, "I am a murderer." Asuka towers over most WataMote girls, and out of the high schoolers can be only matched by Fuka. Her body type is also described as that of a model, so she's in great shape to boot. As her stats read, Asuka is a serious threat with 4s across the board in strength, dexterity, and luck. What Asuka lacks is consistent bloodlust. Other than that, I would say that she is indeed that guy. Yu Naruse, alias Yuchan, is the longtime friend of Tomoko Kuroki. Although Yu's friendship with Tomoko exposed her to Tomoko's delusional dream of becoming an arms dealer, to the reader's knowledge, she has no ties to violence. Sources suggest that Yu has never been in a physical altercation. The only time Yu has experienced anything resembling one are the times she was groped by the lecherous Tomoko. With poor stats in fighting and no physical feats to speak of, Yu sits at the bottom of the totem pole in the category of Weenie Hut Jr. Tomoki Kuroki, alias Onisan, is the younger brother of Tomoko Kuroki. In a normal environment, Tomoki is a pretty chill dude with not many obvious qualities to speak about. Dig deeper though, and you'll find Tomoki's dark anger that he manages to keep a lid on. Combined with his athletic background, and you have a landmine that you don't wish to step on. We've seen Tomoko piss him off and get off relatively easy, but if he were not dealing with his sister, who knows what would happen. Paired with his stats, the glaring one being his maxed out strength, and you're looking at not only the first male in the series, but one of the strongest players in the game. Tomoki is Matt from Nintendo Wii level. Kiko Satozaki, alias Yuchan, is the younger cousin of Tomoko Kuroki. Although Kiko is the youngest character in this pool, she could very well be the most intimidating. Ever since Kiko became disillusioned with Tomoko, she has donned another nickname, Psycho Yuchan. Kiko transformed into an assertive force that looks down on the likes of Tomoko. She has also proved herself to be fearless, stepping up to the great delinquent Yoshida when she thought she was bullying a helpless dog. While Kiko's stats don't reflect her power, the narrative has shown her to be a horrifying entity, so much so, Tomoko literally had a nightmare about her. Given this, Kiko is nothing short of the tier of Nokia Tough. Shiki Fujiki, alias Emoji Mart 2, is the friend of Koharu Minami. Fujiki is the ultimate gamer. She excels at a multitude of games ranging from classic arcade games to console games. The most terrifying part of Fujiki's skill is how casual she struts her talent. In her ping pong game against Yuri, she absolutely destroys her while making the same blank expression she always wears, akin to Saitama from One Punch Man. And to boot, she is athletic, using her break time in school to do some weightlifting. Fujiki also makes sure to take care of her body and nutrition. Fujiki has high stats in every single category with the exception of luck. But with the raw power and potential Fujiki possesses, luck is not a factor. Therefore, Fujiki places at the very top in the field of Nokia Tough. Mako Tanaka, alias Crazy Lesbo, is longtime friends with Yuri Tamura and a good friend of Masaki Yoshida. Although Mako has connections with two of the most violent characters that exist in WataMote, this does not rub off on her. Mako can be best described as a pacifist. She serves to be the diplomat of her friends' groups, denouncing all bad-mouthing and other toxic behavior. Mako's stats as it pertains to combat are well balanced and are at a good level. She also once took a punch from Yuri, but ultimately she does not have the intangibles to be a fighter. Mako might have the outer shell of one, but she does not possess the essence or mindset. Mako resides in a tier of Weenie Hut Jr. Tomoko Kuroki, alias Makochi, is the protagonist of WataMote and a notorious pervert. Her degenerate behavior has led to many incidents in which she has groped the boobs of the girls in her circle. Yu, Kawamoto, Yoshida, and Uchi are all victims of Tomoko's insatiable lust. Although Tomoko's sexual assaults does nothing to tell us about her power, it does tell us about her unrivaled tenacity. To add on, Tomoko is someone who routinely gets punched by Yoshida, but continues to thrive. Bottom line, while Tomoko hasn't proven herself to be an offensive juggernaut, she can be considered a tank. Tomoko's stats would imply that she is an above average fighter all around, but her small stature severely limits her ability. After all, Tomoko stands at 148 centimeters or a height of 4'10", which is only 1 centimeter above the range of a midget. Above Winnie Hut Jr., but not by much, Tomoko lands in the area of not sweet.
Now you see that right there? I got the in-game summary right on the screen if you ain't been listening closely to the people that played this game today. About damn time. Now hit that like and subscribe to my boy Satsuki the Savage. That brother's starving. And if you like this game, be on the lookout for the Kakaguri one coming out in 2 months, I think. That joint about to be live. That's all I got to say though. Turn off the game. The creators ran out of script for me. Now hit that like and subscribe to my boy Satsuki the Savage. That brother's starving. Now hit that like and subscribe to my boy Satsuki the Savage. That brother's starving.
Tasting your soul, you're not in control, just giving you goals. Scared of your past, the future is closed. The start is the end is a start. They both are the same, can't tell them apart. Nigga, that's cuz the intro is the outro.